welcome to Faith on Film, a program designed to keep you aware of everything that's happening in the world of faith and family films. I've got a very interesting guest today. He's a young man who not only has been in a Hollywood film, but he's also in a film that I think is very appropriate and relevant to today's youth. Let me introduce him here. Diallo Thompson is an aspiring actor who made his feature film debut in 2016 when he appeared in Barbershop, The Next Cut, where he played the son of Common's character Rashad. His passion for acting came to fruition after he landed the lead role of Moses in a school play, and ever since he has been acting in movies and television, as well as making original R&B and hip-hop music. Diallo is an actor that plays CJ, a 17-year-old basketball player who grew up in a protective environment and leaves home for the first time to attend college in the movie freshman year. Diallo, welcome to Faith on Film. How are you, man?
I'm doing amazing, man. I'm doing amazing. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, that's terrific. I'm glad you're here. I remember I met you at a film festival last year when I saw this movie, in fact, and I just thought you did an amazing job.
Thank you so much. I remember that was a great film festival. I think it was like the first time I had seen it fully.
Really?
So, and it was around my birthday. I think I saw it the same day my birthday. So it was like a great day.
Cool.
That was a great festival.
That is awesome. Now, on this particular movie, you played the lead role, so obviously that was a very important part for you there. And but you know what? Just kind of bring us up to date a little bit on how you even got started in filmmaking.
Well, I started acting when I was really young. Actually, my older sister got into it before me. She booked a role in Tyler Perry's House of Pain.
Oh, nice.
So I seen her doing a lot of things, and she was booking and stuff around the city. And I don't know, I guess I felt like, hey, I feel like that's something I could do too if I put my mind to it. So I started doing theater and musicals around the city of Atlanta for years. Got me an agent, and finally I booked my first role one day, which was Barbershop. And ever since then, the rest is history.
Well, that's not a bad start for being so young. When did you start doing this? How old were you?
I would say I was about 8 years old when I first got my first role in a play. And I just was doing acting classes and just being consistent with it all the way. I think I booked my first role when I was like 15. So, wow. Yeah, it took me a while to really get into it. But, patience is key. So I'm glad I was resilient with it and didn't give up. And now, I've found a little bit of success, which is great. So.
Well, that's great. I need some of that patience because I've been trying to break in for like 50 years now. So what are some of the challenges that you maybe face, in the film industry?
Yeah, I think as far as just keeping your faith and keeping your hope up, because when it comes to, especially with acting, you get rejected a whole lot. It's a whole lot of no's, a whole lot of disappointment. Right. You go on tons and tons of auditions a year. You might not hear back from any. You might get so excited, get that third call back, and you're thinking you're in there, and then you're really not. Also having to see the movie or TV show after it comes out, and you're like, oh, I auditioned for that role, but I didn't get it. And you see the guy who did get it. So you have to really, really, just keep your own self-confidence. And the key is just to focus on yourself and your own self-development and never get down, because you realize not every role is going to be for you. Not every opportunity is going to be for you, but the right time is going to come for you. And when it does, you just have to be ready. So I would say it's really just that. And as an artist, I feel like when any art, we're super critical about ourselves. We're always wanting to get better. So, when you're sitting down watching a movie with other people in the room and you're in it, you're kind of super critical about, oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. So, those are just certain insecurities we all have as artists that I feel like I deal with as an actor as well.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, let me show a clip of some of the work that you've done so we can judge you a little bit. How's that?
Sure.
All right, roll the clip.
I told you, man. Hey, Kenny, I seen that. Put it back. I saw you, Kenny.
I don't know what to do. I know I let you down. I let Dad down. I let God down. I let myself down.
But we are like the Jeffersons. We moving on up.
Mm-hmm. Who's the Jeffersons?
Jay, what are you thinking? Look at what you have here. Everything you need is right here. You got a mom, you got a dad.
Graveyard shift.
I understand that, but it's just kind of tough for me to take care of her every single day, you know?
Well, you're just gonna have to deal with it, Junior, because I got enough on my plate.
You're never home. You barely talk to me and Mom, and when you do, all y'all do is argue. I'm not a kid.
What the hell happened? The dude at the shop said you passed out on the restroom floor? Okay, well, my mom said she could take you to your appointments if you want. I mean, I'm gonna try to come too if I'm not in school or practice or at work.
Jerry's dead, baby.
Here, Mom.
Well, I don't know. I don't see any problem whatsoever. You're actually a fantastic actor.
Thank you so much. But keep in mind that's just the best of the best.
Oh.
Like, that's just that's the highlight reel,
Well, I don't know.
But yeah.
I saw the whole movie that we're going to talk about in the next segment here, and I think you did pretty well all the way through the movie, not just certain little areas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, it was such a great experience being in the movie. It was my first lead role I was able to do, so I learned a whole lot being out there, and I'm excited to keep doing more.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break right now, and then when we come back, let's find out a little bit more about the movie itself and your part in it and why you might think it's important for people to watch that movie, all right?
All right.
Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Encourage TV. Family-friendly and faith-friendly content absolutely free. Subscribe today and watch hundreds of hours of content on our streaming channels. Visit encouragetv.com today.
Seriously, how big was it? I'm telling you, it's humongous. So it was bigger than a castle? Totally. And when you're there, there's so many cool things to do that you forget about time. No way. That only happens in one place. Go ahead. Think bigger.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. We're here with Diallo Thompson, who stars in a movie that I just think is very relevant to today because it's something that actually I believe is occurring quite a bit in our youth, in our young community. Diallo, tell us a little bit about the movie so they know what I'm talking about.
All right, so I started on this movie. It's the freshman year. Right now, it's on Netflix. And basically what freshman year is about, it's about a young man named CJ who grew up in a Christian home, went to a private Christian school. He was a little bit sheltered by his family and his parents, and they really want to instill certain morals in him. But he decides he wants to go to a public college and experience a different type of lifestyle. And once he gets there, he's put in a whole bunch of different predicaments. He's put in peer pressure situations. He meets people he thought he would never meet. And he ends up with a girl who he has to decide what he wants to do because she ends up getting pregnant. And he has to decide how he wants to approach it, how he wants to tell his parents, how his family's going to deal with it, and all that kind of stuff. So,
now,
yeah, that's basically what the movie's about.
Let me add to that, of course, in this movie, your parents were pastors. Your dad was a pastor, right? and
Yes,
seemed
yes.
like a very I would have a very legalistic type pastor, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean he was a a very what's the word I'm looking for? Very holy oriented, if you will. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but wanted you to go to Christian college. I mean, just like you said, sheltered you quite a bit, and here you decided to go to a regular college, and he wasn't happy about that. So, what happened there? I mean, I know what happened as far as you got her pregnant and all that, but that happens a lot to young kids nowadays. What makes this a good story?
Well, basically, I feel like it tells a story that a lot of people can relate to, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's told enough, because there's a ton of kids who grow up in religious homes, or even if it's not a religious home, just parents who really try to instict those morals into them. But once that kid goes off on his own, then he or she has to make their own decisions, and they're put in these tough situations. And I've met a whole bunch of people who've come up to me and said, I could relate to that. I grew up in a home like that. Or I'm a student athlete who went to school and was put under this peer pressure. And it kind of shows a different side to especially like pastors and church kids who grow up, and it's a different side of it that we don't really get to see, the side where they go off on their own and they really have to make their own decisions, and also it shows that not everybody's perfect. No matter how you grow up or where you grow up or who your parents are, everybody's going to make mistakes in their life. But all that's important is how you respond to those mistakes,
Correct.
How you grow from those mistakes, how you go about solving the problem rather than the issue itself. So I think it's a very interesting story to show that even though CJ you could call it a mistake in some people's eyes, he turned it into something that was beautiful and great, and he stepped up as a man and fixed it. And I feel like it's a lesson everybody could take from.
Now, did you personally grow up in a home like that, where you were a little more sheltered, or were strict about your church beliefs?
Well, to be honest, I would say that my dad did try to go out his way to make sure that I had a little bit of freedom and experience a lot of different things before I go off on my own, so that once I go out, I'm not just blindsided by a lot of things. But they also grew up in a home where my parents, they do put a little bit of pressure on me to, be moral and do the right things and, focus on my career and things like that. But I think that they struck a really good balance to where I was able to experience things growing up, especially through high school and stuff, to where once I'm out the house or I'm out on my own, I'm not trying to be rebellious or anything like that. But at the same time, they didn't instill those morals into me to where I know, what, if I do this, I feel like my parents, they wouldn't accept this. They wouldn't approve of this. So I'm going to try to go this other way.
All righty. Now, you talked about focusing on your career. What else are you doing in your career?
Well, other than just acting, I also am a musician. I play piano. I sing. I can rap. I also I have a production company, so I do things behind the camera as well. So I'm trying to get into things like cinematography and directing. I write scripts. There's actually a movie that me and my family worked on last year called The Life of Mine that's supposed to be coming out sometime this year soon.
That's
and I want to do, web. Yes.
Awesome.
I got web series I want to work on. I have a YouTube channel that I post content on as well. So, I want to do things in front of the camera and behind the camera. My goal is that I can have this big production company and I can make my own feature films that's going to be in the theaters one day as well. So that's something I'm very passionate about.
I love young people who have such great goals. Well, now, if people want to follow you, want to find out all about your YouTube channel, the film you're doing, pretty much anything you're involved with, how would they find you? How do they get a hold of you?
Well, you could definitely start by following me on my Instagram, which is Diallo Thompson, ALLO Thompson. You can follow me on Twitter, Diallo Thompson 7. And you can also go on my YouTube account, which is literally just my name, Diallo Thompson, Diallo Thompson. And all my YouTube, all my content is going to be up there. I update everybody on the movies I'm doing, my own projects, my music. So, if, definitely everybody who's watching, check me out, follow me, and also get updates on any future films that I've booked or that I'm going to be working on.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really look forward to seeing everything you do, but I'm looking forward to that movie you're talking about, all right?
Thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Take care. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
YBL is an experience like none other. Whether you are thinking about a call into leadership and ministry or something else,
I would do it again in a heartbeat. I learned a lot about having self-confidence in myself as a leader. Even though we're teenagers, we still have the power and the capacity to change the world.
God can do amazing things in a very short amount of time. The material that we studied and the activities that we did really helped us to see that.
Going to YBL and hearing from professors that are my future professors and professors now, coming to Asbury is really like a continuation of what Youth Becoming Leaders was.
It was really important having a group of people my age who wanted to do what I wanted to do. We kind of end up as a family, which is the best thing I think about YBL.
Welcome back to Faith on Film. My next guest today has been a friend of mine for quite a few years. Let me give him that proper introduction that I like to give. Paul Sermons is a producer, director, line producer, and first assistant director in both movies and TV. He served as Florida State Film Commissioner in the office of Governor Jeb Bush from 2005 to 2008. He now focuses on family and faith-based product and movies that can make a difference in people's lives. His most recent project is as the producer of Teata, a dramatic movie for the Chickasaw Nation in Oklahoma about their legendary storyteller. Paul, welcome to Faith on Film, my friend. How are you?
Thank you, Isaac. I'm wonderful. It's a beautiful day here in Florida, and just so happy to be with you.
Oh, fantastic. You know, I know you've had quite an illustrious career. But there's something else that we want to talk about today, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show today. But first of all, tell us about this career of yours. I mean, I know that you were like the you were working on was it Gunsmoke or one of those? Am I aging you now?
Yeah, you're definitely aging me, but it's okay because I actually am aged. So I'm at the tail end of my career, not the start. And it's not been an illustrious career. It's been a journeyman's career. I haven't produced $100 million movies. I'm not Steven Spielberg. I directed one movie. It was $500,000 budget. And yet I'm here at age 65, and I've actually, had a wonderful 40-year career, and I've done a number of projects I'm really proud of. But it all started after I got out of college and went to LA to get in the film business. And became an assistant director out there. First series I did was The Waltons.
The Waltons. That to me is an illustrious career right there.
I talk to film schools today. Kids haven't even heard of that show. It's rather amazing. But I go on and talk about it. I did moved up to a first assistant director on Falcon Crest and did that for 3 years, and Our House, and did the first 2 years of Quantum Leap. And when I talk to film school students now, when I hit Quantum Leap, most of them are like, "Oh, dude, I love that show." That's kind of like the old Twilight Zone was, today's youth. So that was a good one. And I did Sequest, just a lot of 1 hour dramatic series. But that really taught me how to do a show on time and on budget.
Right.
And I was reading and breaking down just hundreds of scripts, and figuring out how to shoot them and budget them and keep them on time and schedule, which really doesn't make you a great director. It makes you a great producer, Right. And so after 20 years of doing Hollywood stuff and other people's stuff, and I was doing really horrible TV series, I thought, called Sins of the City, which it was on A&E Network, but it was just a trashy show I wouldn't want my kids to watch. And I had to work just as hard on that as I did on Quantum Leap, or a good show. And I thought, that's it. I'm not going to be an AD anymore until I make my own movie. And so I partnered up with Gary Rogers, who wanted to write. I wanted to direct. We found a project. He wrote it. We got it up and made. And so that became the 1st of May, and that started me on I realized I was a better producer than director. And so 20 years, first 20 years assistant director, the last 20 years as a producer, and just helping other people get their stories told, and focusing on those stories that can change lives and make a difference in the world.
Wow. Well, I'm going to have you on a full program. Right now it's only this one last segment, and there's a reason for that, and that is that you, of course, are now the president of an organization called ICVM, International Christian Visual Media, and there's something that maybe I'd like for you to talk about, and that is an award ceremony. ICVM for many years has awarded filmmakers, for the content that they've produced. Can you tell us a little bit more about ICVM and the Crown Awards?
I was looking for a group that really cared about Christian filmmakers and really wanted to help Christian filmmakers network together. What I didn't realize at first was they do the Crown Awards, and the Crown Awards honor the best of Christian film, television, documentaries, church programming, everything. There's like 18 different categories to it. And I didn't realize just how old those awards are. They are the oldest, the longest running awards program in Christian cinema. Wow. It's been around 45 years. And, we really, as ICVM, never touted that. And when I noticed that, I said, guys, we got to start talking about that, because it's important that people know that, hey, this has been around for 45 years. We're really pushing the Crown Awards, and we've opened it up this year.
And how would people know about ICVM if they want to learn more about it?
They want to learn more about it. It's you can go to the website right here, ICVM. This is old school. This is the old school. ICVM.com. International Christian Visual Media. Or you can go to Film Freeway and just look up the ICVM Crown Awards. We're the only Crown Awards on there, and it's just an incredible opportunity. I can tell you right now, we have 13 different countries outside of the United States that have submitted already to it, and there's only another month or so to submit. So people should go online and submit their films. If you have any Christian product, and we're talking music videos, all sorts. We've got 18 categories: best actor, best supporting actor and actress. Lots of things for people to get involved in. And the other clue I'll give people: if you want to save money on the submissions, become a member. The member price is dramatically lower. So if you want to submit your film in 3 or 4 categories, our membership is only, I think, $99. So you join as a member, and the cost of submitting for the film festival goes way down. So it's actually cheaper than not being a member and just submitting in 3 or 4 categories. So
fantastic. Well, we've run out of time, but listen, I'm going to call you back, and we're going to set up for an entire show, because there's, I think, a lot we want to learn about you. All right?
I would love to do it. It would be an honor, and hopefully, the Crown Awards are going to be in Glendale, or the Crown Awards nominees will be presented in Glendale, California in November, if we can do a festival then. If not, It will be done virtually, and the winners will be announced at National Religious Broadcasters next March.
Excellent.
This is huge for the award show. It'll be the first time we've done it. But all of the television, Christian television and Christian radio are at NRB, and all of the distributors are there. So it's a great place for a filmmaker to have a winner to be able to tout their film, and even the nominees.
Terrific.
They'll get seen and heard there. Much better chance of getting their film in distribution.
Fantastic. Thank you so much again, Paul. Folks, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Encourage TV. Family-friendly and faith-friendly content absolutely free. Subscribe today and watch hundreds of hours of content on our streaming channels. Visit encouragetv.com today.
Dad? This is a lot of work. It might take us the entire weekend.
You think this is rough? Try building one of the most massive wooden ships in history without modern tools.
Go ahead. Think bigger.
Well, we've come to the end of yet another show. I barely have enough time to just invite you to write me. I promise you I will not bombard you with all kinds of emails. I just want to know that you're out there and that you're watching the program. So write me at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Just let me know who you are, where you're at, and that you're watching. That's all I want to know. Don't forget that you need to check out Parables TV, a place where you can watch some wonderful Christian movies and documentaries and all sorts of great Christian content for you and your family. Well, until next week, take care.